well. Look at what we have here. It's a live stream. An outlaw of college football live stream in the middle of the night. Just never know when we're going to pop up on here, but we had to pop it here tonight because there's a little bit of an emergency situation for Oklahoma in that John Mateer has an injury that's going to require surgery, and he may have to miss a few games, maybe even miss the Texas game. And been trying to talk to a few Oklahoma people today about being on here. I don't know if they can be on here. They're so distraught about it that, they finally got their shit together. They got a great defense and a great quarterback, and it just feels like Oklahoma's snake bit. And I'm an Alabama fan, so when I say this, it's not that I'm, I hate Texas as my chief rival and the team that's always been, just a general ass to my team. Texas is a new thing to me. But I'm starting to see Texas is a lot like Auburn in that they have a lot of luck, a lot of crazy luck. And some of it's not even luck. Some of it's just shady-ass preferential treatment. I mean, how is it that Texas is so lucky? I mean, I heard that Florida's quarterback's injured too, by the way. And now John Mateer's injured. The guy that all these Texas long turds were, it seemed like they were really fearful of this game. Now they seem to be celebrating and wetting their panties. It just aggravates me and pisses me off. And they're not even my main rival in the fact that they're able to just get so much luck on their side. It's like they always get lucky with something. And this shit with John Mateer, believe me, that's a lot of bad luck for Oklahoma and a lot of good luck for Texas, in my opinion. Not to mention that, they come into the SEC and they get a huge solid from Greg Sankey in the SEC somehow, and they get an easy ass, not really easy ass, but a pretty nice, easy schedule compared to a lot of teams in the conference that have been in the conference for a while. Not to mention they got a lot easier schedule than Oklahoma. I don't know, man. It just don't seem right. It just seems like Oklahoma's snake bit. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in somebody real quick. We were able to find one person that's able to come in here and just tell us exactly how he feels about this whole situation with Oklahoma seemingly snake bitten. Killer Breeze is into his house.
This sucks. Dude, listen, man, and it's not even about being concerned about Hawkins as the QB. It's just a bummer in the sense that I grew up back in the day when Oklahoma was great on both sides of the ball. And the last championship we won 25 years ago, we were great on both sides of the ball. We've been so long since we've had a championship caliber defense. And when we finally start putting this back together, we just can't get out of this injury bug situation that we've been dealing with for the last 2 years. I mean, man, and then when you start, the salt in the wound really comes from the advantage that it's going to give to Texas. Because best case scenario, they're saying 3 weeks he's coming back. I'm telling you right now, that's not happening. He will not be ready in 3 weeks. It's not going to happen. So he's not playing in the Texas game. Man, it's some kind of crazy statistic about how many, I think of all the ranked teams Texas has played in the last couple of years, how many of the starting quarterbacks have actually been out of the game. And like you just mentioned, a lot of people were saying it's very possible they lose to Ohio State, Florida, and Oklahoma to start their season. And if they're not starting Lagway at Florida and Mateer at OU, at a minimum, your chances are less. You want to argue?
I just don't get it, man. I mean, they try to claim that they're back and they're on the national championship level now, but then they don't want Oklahoma's best shot. I mean, I've seen Texas people on Twitter gleefully and spastically celebrating this shit.
Well, dude,
Are y'all that scared of John Mateer? I mean, seriously. I was kidding around about fear Mateer, but I mean, I actually think they really feared the man. I think they thought that they was going to get their ass handed to them.
They don't want to admit it, but like I've said on your show many times before, and you don't have to take it from me. Go look at the history books and go see, since for the last 50 years, Oklahoma has largely handled that rivalry, and they know it. And they certainly know that in the last 25 years, it ain't even been close. It's like 17 or well, actually, the last 25 years, they've won a couple. So it's
Well,
what,
it was
18 and 10 in the last 28 years or something like that. I mean, it's
it would be like someone wanting to fight a one-legged man. It's like they don't want to get someone's best shot, man. They just have this cowardly feel about them. And them and Auburn run a close race. Y'all are learning about Auburn, and I'm learning about Texas.
yeah.
Auburn, they've already had their day with Oklahoma, and they got beat, and they keep complaining about one call during the game that we all know about, even though there was numerous holding calls that weren't called either that could have you call a holding call, that's going to impact the game too, right? But a lot of the holding calls weren't made in that game, and I don't know, man. It's just like y'all go around celebrating people's misery, and that's what bothers me. Celebrating a victory is one thing, but to celebrate someone's misery and someone being injured, it's just bush league and cowardly, man. And the shit's going to come back on them one day. Florida's got a decent defense. It's kept them in games all year. What if they injure Arch Manning? That shit's not going to be funny anymore, right?
Absolutely. I mean, man, I've heard you talk about Auburn fans a lot, and now I'm starting to get a taste of it too. Today I just happened to be watching a couple of these Auburn podcasts because they keep flooding my feed, and all these different Auburn shows, and they're all whining and crying about the trick play. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. Football is about deceiving your opponent as much as you can. What is you can look at the very basics of the game. The play action pass is deceiving. I mean, you're deceiving them into thinking that you're running the ball. I mean, pay attention to the players on the field, and you don't have this problem. But now the Auburn fans are crying even more because now that it's come out that, Oklahoma wasn't cheating, we brought it up to the referees before the game and they cleared it. Now their story is, the referees were in on it. This is just, there needs to be some accountability. Like, dude, you got caught with your pants down. That's what happened.
Well, here's the thing.
Say again?
Because here's the thing with Auburn, the luxury that they don't have, that you guys do have. Y'all are off this week, and then you play Kent State. So if something like this happened to y'all would have time to bitch and moan about it. Auburn's got to play Texas A&M this week.
That's right.
They better be worried about the Aggies and the all-male cheerleaders because they might just get their ass handed to them 2 weeks in a row.
Well, aren't they playing in College Station?
I'm not sure where the game's at. I have to look and see, but
hold on, let me take a look.
If it's in College Station, they damn well better move on.
I think it is, man.
We're almost to hump day, and they're still humping Oklahoma's leg. I'm like, come on, man. Seriously? The dude didn't hide himself. I brought up a play that Auburn run a few years back. I can't remember what team it was against, where they hit a player behind one of the offensive linemen. He's crouched down, and they hand the ball off to him, which is totally illegal. It says it in that little bylaw that they keep bringing up. Don't hide. Don't lay down on the ground and pretend like you're part of the field.
Yeah.
None of that shit happened. He went to the sidelines. He didn't go off the field and come back on the field. He didn't deceive anything. He sat right there. If you got 10 men right there and they're short a man, maybe it should dawn on you that, hey, maybe these guys are up to something. Maybe we should go out there and cover this guy or call a timeout before they snap the ball.
Well, it has come out that part of the play was to have a couple of the OU guys, I think the secondary, excuse me, not the secondary, to have a couple of the other wide receivers start jawing with the defense and talking smack to get them all riled up and not paying attention to all of the players, which is what they did. And again, whose fault is that, man? That's your typical mental warfare, playing your opponent, trying to get them upset, trying to get them riled up. You got caught. I mean, Jesus, I've never seen. It's like they want an act of Congress to denounce the play and punish Oklahoma and give them a bowl ban for a year, for God forbid, trying to fool them into thinking that the guy wasn't part of the play. I mean, I've just never seen so much whining and crying over one play in my life. And again, I'll bring it up. Even if you concede the play shouldn't have happened and you take it away, that doesn't mean that they still don't score. I don't care whether the penalty sets them 15 yards back or not. That doesn't mean that they still don't score. So you're playing this theoretical game, what ifs, as if you automatically know what was going to happen just if you take one play out of the equation. And as you and I both know, that is not the case. That doesn't mean that you know anything about what the outcome would or would not have been regardless of that play.
Well, I got a news flash for Texas. Even if Mature doesn't play, in years past, this would have been a huge blow to Oklahoma. But the Oklahoma defense that we used to know from the 1980s and shit like that is sort of looking like it's reincarnated itself.
Yeah.
The way that defense played against Auburn was pretty epic. I've never seen anything like it. So, even if Material's not there, Arch Manning in his shaky-ass performances against real teams is going to have to face that defense regardless. So, good luck with that.
We all know that defense can take you very far, and I do believe that their defense is legit. I also – listen, man, it's still new to them. Being good is still new to them. And so I think they're probably still a year or two away from being really where I think they're going to end up. But still good enough this year. And you gotta imagine that they're only going to get better throughout the year. They should continue to improve throughout the year. So, yeah, the defense could take them a long way. And as long as Michael Hawkins doesn't lose them any games, then you never know what can happen.
Well, I know you're the one that told me, because I was sort of like, man, I'm scared for Material to get injured because I don't trust Hawkins. And you was the one that was telling me that during spring practice, a lot of people were saying that he's picked it up a little bit, that he seems like he's coming along a little bit better this year. So maybe that'll be the case, and he'll do just enough for the Oklahoma defense to really stick it to Texas. Because let me ask you this, Texas, since you think it's shit so funny, how funny will it be if y'all lose to Oklahoma without?
Well, that's what I was just about to say.
That would suck. Y'all better hope that shit don't happen. Just like I told the Auburn people, you better hope you beat Oklahoma, because if you don't, I'm gonna give you hell all week. And I've been giving Auburn hell all week until this shit happened. Now my focus is on Texas. Texas is gonna get it. If y'all better hope you beat Oklahoma at this point.
Well, you know what's so funny? I mean, Texas fans are so transparent. They try to act like they don't care about Oklahoma and that they're superior to Oklahoma. When we all know Oklahoma, it's this cliche to say it, but lives rent-free in their head. And I'll give you a great example. You will remember that portly guy from Orange Bloods, Jeff Ketchum? They like to call him Ketch.
Yeah, he reported on a canoe. He reported him, and then I turned around and did the same shit. Except I knew the tricks. Right. I knew the tricks where I could get away with it. And he did DM me and threaten me a little bit, but he didn't do shit.
Yeah, and Ketch, you remember Ketch put out that video saying that Oklahoma is not even they're insignificant to Texas now. They're not even a rival anymore. Who cares about Oklahoma? Who cares? That's the false bravado, right?
That's dumb. That's just dumb to say. I wouldn't even say that about Auburn. I wouldn't say, man, Auburn's not our rival. Auburn don't matter.
He put it out there, but his foot routinely lives in his mouth. And so
there's a lot of shit that lives in his mouth.
Yeah. It doesn't stay in his mouth very long. It quickly goes down the gullet. But the funny thing is,
he probably swallows better than Steve Lee's.
Hey, So if Oklahoma is not even a thought of yours anymore, why did last week he just put out a video talking about the real what's the word? The real imposter is not Arch Manning, it's John Mateer. Why are you so worried about Oklahoma if you're not worried about Oklahoma, man? And
Look,
that's
man,
what it's always like with Texas.
John Mateer is only going to be invisible in that game only because he's injured. You better be glad he's not, because he would have made him look stupid. He's already passed for 1,200 yards this year. He was second betting odds to win the Heisman, only behind that quarterback at Indiana. So, and I think he would have surpassed him eventually because he plays in a much better league than me.
Yeah, I was about to say, if Oklahoma had a good year, then yeah, he absolutely.
Let me go ahead and give credit to Zach Hamner. He was first batter up tonight. He said, "Hey, Outlaw, I'm not worried. We're in good hands with Hawkins. He needs the experience." I agree with that against Kent State, but I don't like the fact he's having to play Texas. I'll be honest with you. I don't like that idea at all. I hope y'all right about him. I hope he's learned something. Being able to have an off week and have Kent State will help him a lot, though.
Well, here's the thing. It will. You're right. I mean, it is true that if there was a point in the season for John Mateer to have this injury, this was the point, right after the Auburn game. Get us through Auburn, but obviously we'd rather not have to deal with it. But either way, all of the news on Hawkins all throughout spring ball, I mean summer camp, fall, all of it. Spring ball camp, summer, fall, all of it was great. The thing that worries me is that when he came in relief from Mateer in the Temple game, I didn't think he looked great. That's what worries me.
Right.
So we'll have to see, man. I hope I'm wrong. Clearly I can easily just be wrong, and I hope that's the case because
now Thunder U Center is saying something that I told you off air, and like I said, I haven't even been on the internet. I know these people well enough. I've lived in this state with them long enough. I'm like, I know what they're going to do. They're going to see that shit and say, yeah, see, that's what y'all get for cheating. His ass got injured. I'm glad he got injured.
That's what they're saying.
He's saying Auburn fans are saying it's karma what happened to John Mateer for cheating in the game.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to wish injury on a player. And I don't usually wish injury on players, but if you're going to do it to my players, man, I hope all your players get injured too. You're going to be like that.
I mean, man, it's just so – like, here's a sad thing. That's weak to wish that on a player. But from the Texas fan point, going back to the Texas point you made, that just shows you the kind of caliber. It just shows you who they are. Because you would think if you wanted to beat OU down, wouldn't you want to beat the best version of Oklahoma that you could play?
Yeah, so they wouldn't have an excuse.
Exactly.
Oklahoma people, if they get beat, they're like, well, we didn't have John Mateer. If y'all played us with John Mateer, we would have beat you.
I would be terribly upset if we didn't have a chance to beat Arch Manning's ass on Saturday.
Right. Richard Young, I know he's being sarcastic here, but he alludes to something that I expounded upon with the Auburn Barn Monkeys on one of my podcasts. SEC's new rule: each team has to give the other team the playbook. That's what Auburn wants. I mean, that's basically what they're saying. They're like, it's not fair that y'all called a play that we didn't know was happening. That happens every play. The offense and defense are supposed to deceive each other so they can either score or stop them. If you have one running back in the backfield and you're not sure whether Oklahoma's going to run or pass, you expect Oklahoma and the officials to say, hey, just so you know, they're going to run the ball. Or if you're on defense and you're showing blitz and you back off and drop into coverage, you're going to tell the offense that you're going to drop into coverage? I mean, that's what Auburn's actually asked. To me, that's what they're asking for.
Well, I mean, man, and again, I just go back to it's your responsibility to pay attention to the team on the other side of the ball. That's what I mean, particularly when you're on defense. So, man, the fact that you lost the count of one of the players, I don't feel bad about that at all. Like, somebody should have noticed him going off and should have realized nobody's coming on, and I better start cheating my way over here just in case this guy is actually in the play. That's what should have happened, and it didn't, because they got caught up, mouthing off with Oklahoma's wideouts that were intentionally trying to distract them by John with them, and that's what happened, and they fell for it. Priming a river, man.
You made this point yourself a few days back. Bottom line is, when the game was on the line, Auburn had no answers. They couldn't stop Oklahoma from scoring.
Yeah, by the way, John Mateer, with a broken effing hand, completed 16 of his last 17 passes and his last 11 in a row.
Well, I thought they were bullshitting me, but they said in this article that he was injured in the first quarter.
That's what I'm saying. He was basically throwing the ball. I mean, dude, that kid is tough. That was a painful injury. He was throwing the ball with a broken hand and still found a way to complete 16 of his last 17 and his last 11 in a row. So the guy is a stud, and that's why it's a terrible loss to lose him regardless, because he's just a gamer.
By the way, that comment was from Doyle Kennedy, USAF Navigators. I'll make sure I give him credit for that. Steve Lees is in the house. We were just talking about you, Steve. We was comparing you to some dude. What was his name? The Texas Orange Bloods guy. What's his name?
Ketchum.
The one that, what'd you say, swallows a lot of shit? We were saying that guy probably swallowed about as well as you do, Steve.
Outlaw giving it to Steve Lees.
He likes.
By the way, we got.
If I was a queer, I'd like me too, because I'm sexy to everybody.
That's right. I got 29. We got 29 people in the chat and 5 likes. Everybody smash that like button for us, man. Help us out. We appreciate it.
Yeah, by the way,
dude, I've never seen such crybaby nonsense in my life with these. Now I understand why you give it so hard to the Auburn fans. Yeah, they think that they're something special.
Well, they get lucky too all the time, man. They pull these 4-leaf clover plays out of their ass, like that tip drill pass with Georgia, and they beat Georgia, and then the next following week they beat us with a kick 6. So
yeah, dude,
they've always done shit like that, man. There's always they never beat you, like just beat you. You never feel like you got beat by Auburn or Texas. You feel like you got lucky or you were handicapped. Like when y'all lost that game big time to them a few years ago. I mean, we all know Oklahoma was pretty handicapped coming out of the fiasco that Skittle shit and Lincoln Riley left behind. I feel bad for Brent, man, because it's like one thing after another, man. It's like the guy can't catch a break.
He really can't.
He's actually maybe a decent coach, man.
This is his 4th year, and this now makes it 3 out of the 4 years that he's played Texas, his starting quarterback is out of the game. I mean, come on, man. Like, you can't make this up. And again, just the injury bug still finding a way to be killing us in 2025 after all of the stuff we had happen to us on offense last year, knocking out our top 7 wide receivers, decimating our offensive line. I mean, and now this year to have our best transfer portal quarterback out now and our best transfer portal wide receiver, who's also considered to be the best wide receiver on the team, he's out now. He's still on the sideline, by the way. Like, we still can't get – we still just can't even – we don't even know really what we are because we still haven't seen our team healthy enough to really evaluate them.
Yeah, it's true. And it's going to suck for Brent, if he ends up losing 4 or 5 games this year. I hope he's able to survive it, but I don't know if he will. But with losing material like this, man, I mean, you would think they would give him some kind of extenuating circumstance, but that's not the way it works in college football or the NFL. We know that.
Well, man, from what I'm hearing, here's the actual timeline of what you should expect. The 3 weeks, him coming back in 3 weeks, that is a best absolute best case scenario. In other words, everything goes perfectly. He doesn't have any setbacks whatsoever. And in addition to that, he happens to, rehab particularly well and heal quicker than normal. That's a best case scenario. The likely scenario is 4 to 6 weeks. That's the likely scenario. So, I mean, dude, I just don't. Again, I've got to see what we have with Hawkins. I just don't know. To be fair, Hawkins was not only a true freshman last year, he had no offensive line and no wide receivers either. So you see what a difference it makes for Jackson Arnold at Auburn. So maybe Hawkins is, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. But if John Mateer is out,
here's a report from Athens Sports that may give y'all some hope, give y'all some good news. It says, following the initial report, common sense would indicate that Mateer will miss the Texas game. However, his status for that game is far from definitive. On 3's Pete Nakos followed up with an initial report with that news. Pending his rehabilitation, Mateer might actually make a return against Texas.
That's not happening. It's just not happening, man. There's no way.
Man, can you see, like I said in the multi-chat tonight, could you see Texas thinking that Mateer wasn't going to be there and he comes out suited up, ready to go? And you're talking about a hard-on going into a limp spaghetti noodle. I mean, the Texas hard-on would be like an overcooked spaghetti noodle.
It'd be amazing. Don't get me wrong, but
the stuff that movies are made out of.
Yeah, it would be. But I mean, I feel like again, even if he heals in 3 weeks and he can start playing again, he's still gonna have a little bit of rust, a little bit of timing. It might come back to him quickly, but it's not gonna be right away. And then the other thing is the strength of the thumb. He's not gonna gain full strength of the thumb back immediately either. So I just don't even know. Even if he could play in the Texas game, would he be effective enough? I don't know.
Steve Lee says, "Hey yo, Outcast, sick it. Trust me, Hawkins starts against Texas. Mateer will be suited, out, and ready to go." Well, I mean, if he's injured, he's not going to be ready to go.
Yeah,
he might be out there in a jersey with no pads, but as far as playing in that game, he's either going to start or he's not. It's just he's not going to be out there with his pads on, ready to go. I just don't believe that. If he's ready to go, they're definitely going to put him out there. They're not going to say, let's give Michael Hawkins a chance. I mean, he just lit up Kent State. So let's just let him play against Texas too. That's not going to happen. No,
I agree. I mean,
at least you're pretty realistic about it. You know that while Michael Hawkins may surprise us and do really well, you also know that it's likely that there's going to be a drop off.
There's gonna be a drop off regardless. There is gonna be a drop off. You again, John Mateer. Part of what makes John Mateer as good as he is his experience, what he has under his belt, and Hawkins just doesn't have that yet. So at best, you get younger Mateer. You know what I mean? Which
I'm a man. By the way, I'm a man. I'm 53. Got fired today.
Yeah, you did.
So now I'm a man. I'm unemployed. I'm a man. I'm fired.
And there was part of me that thought he would never get fired, that they would never fire him because a lot of people think that, Gundy runs all of Stillwater.
Yep. Kane Reed brought it up, and I know Kane Reed used to have a little bit of a man crush on Mike Gundy. He used to be an Oklahoma State fan before he converted over to the Sooners.
Oh, yeah?
But I don't think he would have got fired if he hadn't lost to Tulsa. He could have lost to anybody on that schedule but Tulsa, man. How you going to lose to Tulsa, man? Now you're the third best team in the state.
Well, dude, it's not – I mean, they just they just look so bad, dude. I mean, it's not even, they just look so bad.
And they still haven't won a Big 12 game since Oklahoma left.
That's unbelievable.
They went winless last year, and I don't think they've won one this year, have they?
Oh no.
Are they 0-3 or 1-3 or some shit?
Yeah, I think they're 1-3. Well, actually, they might be over. I don't even know if they have a win. No, I did think they have a win. Maybe in week 2, I think they might have won. Yeah, I don't know.
Probably played Southern South. They probably played Southern Southwest South Dakota Tech.
But I will say, he does have Hawkins does have a couple of weeks to build some chemistry with his wideouts and his offense. And crazier things have happened. If he can just not lose games, man. If he can just move the ball, if he can just be good enough to have to be able to throw the ball with some success. He doesn't need to be the second coming of Joe Montana.
Yeah, because Arch Manning has not showed himself to be this stellar Heisman Trophy candidate. If Oklahoma puts 24 points on the board, I think they win that game.
Yeah.
What do you think? 24?
Against Texas?
Yeah. 28, 24, somewhere along there.
I think I'd like to have them if they put 28 on the board, I'd feel really good about it. I feel really good about it.
Only right-wing Duck fan says that he thinks he'll be out for 4 weeks. That's probably what you were saying too.
Yeah,
right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think he's 100% right. I think the realistic expectation is that he's going to miss 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks.
Well, what's going to suck is if he's out to the Ole Miss game or whatever, and y'all lose those games to Texas and South Carolina, and if he's not back for y'all play Ole Miss after South Carolina, right?
Yep.
So if he's not back for Ole Miss, if y'all lose 3 games right there, and he comes back and starts lighting everybody up, it's not going to be good for the SEC because then everybody's going to start catching losses, and Oklahoma's going to play spoiler and come down here and screw up our homecoming. They're going to screw up our homecoming.
Yeah, you always bring up that damn homecoming, but yes,
they're going to screw my homecoming up.
Yes, I didn't even think about that, but you're 100% right. It could be bad for the SEC in general, because if Oklahoma has a bad drop off and John Mateer takes a little longer than expected, and they lose, enough games to where they're no factor, and now they're just coaching. Now they're just playing for Brent's job. Yeah, motivated Oklahoma could, maybe run the table to end the season with the last 3 or 4 games.
Denizens asking why they don't have badges anymore. It's because they demonetized my channel. They probably sent you a notice telling you could cancel that if you want to, and I would suggest that you do it, because when it comes back, I'm not doing it for them no more because they got a cut of it. They can suck my wee-wee. The only thing I'm going to want from them come December 14th is monetization. I'm not going to do the badges anymore or anything. Maybe I will. But right now they took them away. The only reason I done the badges, I wasn't making a ton of money off of that anyway. I done it, because it was fun and everybody had a badge. It was just a fun thing to do. But,
yeah, that's weak what they're doing, man.
They sort of screwing themselves because they were making money off that too.
Yeah, I don't know why they really are, man. They're crazy power hungry when it comes to all kinds of things.
Well, if you start talking about certain political things, man, they'll try to find a loophole to get you. And that's what happened with me. I knew it was coming. They already got me before when I had a previous channel that I changed the name of it. I ain't saying it out loud, so I don't want to know him. But they probably know. But that's why you don't have the badges anymore. You can cancel that if you want to, or you can still keep it. And when I get monetized back in December 14th, and they'll be able to I'll be able to holler out the badges again then. Right now, we're having to do donations through Cash App. It'll be on this bottom scroll down here. You see these people that's sent stuff to the show and have sponsored the show in the past. And then you'll see down here at the beginning there's a JPC money dollar sign JPC 316 Cash App. If you want to donate to the show like that, I'm also giving people shout outs doing that as well. So you don't have to have the badge anymore. I'll just give you a shout out regardless.
I definitely I think that I didn't cancel my membership. I kept mine. I got that notice though.
Right. You can cancel or keep it. It don't matter.
We'll see.
You can just get it back in December. I won't even know if I'll bother advertising anymore because they sort of screwed the pooch on that. Like Killer Bree said, they sort of screwed themselves on that. John Ritchie said that Hawk looked decent against Temple. Well, I didn't watch the game, but Killer Bree said he didn't look too good.
I don't know, man. I maybe I missed something. Maybe I didn't, But what I saw just didn't look impressive to me. Now he has great. The guy can run the ball. He can run. I think he might actually be dare I say, a better runner than Mateer. I think that might actually be a true statement.
So is Michael Hawkins a better passer than John Mateer? Because Steve Lee seems to think so.
I have not seen that, but again, all the word out of camp. The word out of camp was that he was going 1-for-1 with Mateer on big plays in practice, and a lot of them were deep balls. That was the word out of camp. That Hawkins was doing impressive things with his throwing arm, not running the ball necessarily. But he is a natural scrambler. He's got great agility. He's got great burst. He's got great side to side. So that's why I was saying, man, if he can just show in the Kent State game that he can move the ball downfield and throw the ball further than, if he can just get that good mid-range game and throw that with some consistency and some success, then we should be okay. But you got to remember, we don't have a great running game, And now that you're down to your backup, it should at least make you even more tentative to run the ball with your quarterback. So it means you got to rely on your running back and your running game with your running backs, and they haven't been good this year. Torrey Blaylock's has been okay. He's been the best that they've got, and he shows promise. But I still, man, it's been years since I've seen what I used to see on the regular with Oklahoma. I mean, dude, for 15 years plus, Oklahoma always had running backs that would break off at least one 25-plus yard run a game, at least one, but usually a couple. God forbid the years when we had backs like Adrian Peterson and Joe Mixon and flipping Piron,
I just think it's unrealistic, and it's not really fair to Michael Hawkins for people to be saying that he's just as good as Mateer and everything's just going to run smooth and he's not going to miss a beat. And a lot of people are saying that. There's like Steve Lee's is saying he's a better passer. I don't believe that. If he was a better passer, he'd be the starter, right?
He might be a more physical specimen. He's a big kid and he's a great athlete. So he might be I'll say this. He might have all of the skills that John Mateer has. In other words, maybe he could throw the ball as far and he's got his accuracy is good, but Mateer's experience and his gamesmanship is on another level than Michael Hawkins. Period. Yeah. It'll take another year or so for Hawkins to be able to get where Mateer is as a winning, leading quarterback.
All right. Denizen said Oklahoma State might be able to beat the Nagasaki Egg Rolls. You think they could beat the Nagasaki Egg Rolls?
Not a chance. Not
No.
right now.
Nagasaki
Not
Egg
right
Rolls, man,
now.
they're Japanese, they're American Japanese champions, man.
They can beat those Tokyo Tech crab puffs, but they cannot mess with the Nagasaki egg rolls, man. How many times I got to tell y'all? That
Steve
is a
Lee,
storied franchise.
Steve Lee's answered our question for us. Okie Chokey State beat UT Martin, 27-7.
Which is kind of surprising.
I mean, UT Martin, man, you probably should have beat that team by about 50, not 20.
Yeah, to say the least. To say the least.
Thunder OU Center said against Sam Houston State, Arch looked like a Heisman candidate. Yeah, he was flexing on Sam Houston. He sure was.
I'm so glad that the rest of the country has picked up on how weak that was for Arch. I mean, you want to talk about a bad look. Here's a guy who's got all of the, ain't hurting for nothing, has got the posh life. Starting quarterback, University of Texas, the 40 acres, biggest school in the state of Texas. I know, actually, I think A&M might actually be bigger enrollment-wise, but either way, a huge school. And you're going up against, is Sam Houston State the worst college football team around? I mean, they got to be close to it, right? They can't be anywhere near.
Since they left FCS, they've pretty much not been very good.
They suck.
They should have stayed FCS. Storm.
It's basically like rolling over and bowing up over a retarded monkey. Like, you ain't doing nothing. What are you proving to yourself?
Storm 4601 says Hawkins takes one look, it's not there, and he runs. That's his issue with Hawkins.
That was one of my issues. But again, supposedly he made tremendous leaps, and that comes from fairly reliable sources, man. So, but it's always one thing to do it in practice and another thing to do it on the field during game time. That's a big difference.
Steve brought it back up. I didn't. He said Oklahoma's going to screw up Alabama's homecoming regardless. You want to put a bet on that? We'll make a bet if you want. Don't get on here and be one of these dumb bastards that get on here like, yeah, I'll bet you $5,000. And neither one of us got $5,000, and you'd be like, I can't bet $5,000. Why not? You're so confident in your team. Bet $5,000. Because nobody's going to bet $5,000, man. Not unless you Michael Jordan or some shit. But if you want to make a little side bet or something, a little small bet, we'll make a small bet on that game.
So now you want to pick on us while we're down, huh? You want to pick on us while we're down. You want to beat us without Mateer.
We're going to have to play Mateer. What are you talking about?
Actually, dude, that's not true because he could easily, if things don't go well, this could take up to 8 weeks. This is absolutely a potential scenario that it takes him 8 weeks to come back.
Well, I guess y'all would fit the homecoming bill then.
We would. We'd be down. Yeah, we would.
Because I know Michael Hawkins ain't a better passer, like somebody said.
Hell yeah, man.
All kidding aside, I hope Oklahoma does well, and I hope that he does come back. I hope he comes out on Texas like, I don't know, like the Ultimate Warrior came out and saved Hulk Hogan or some shit. I can't stand – I'm getting to where I can't stand Texas about as bad as y'all, man. They're getting right up there with Auburn and Tennessee.
But let me ask you, you know what I did think about, though? One of the things that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, but it is true, that John Mateer could come back to Oklahoma next year. He's got another year of eligibility. So if considering he's a Heisman leading quarterback, he's one of the leading candidates right now. But if he misses 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I would imagine he ain't winning a Heisman.
No.
So considering that he might have a chance to win a Heisman if he comes back next year, does this injury kind of help increase the odds that he actually comes back next year?
Yeah, if it lingers and it doesn't heal as fast as you say, it could take up to 8 weeks or something. I could see that happening.
But even if it only takes 4 weeks, that's still going to knock him out of the Heisman race more than likely.
Because they got him projected. I saw a draft projection. They had him going 7th in the draft in the first round. So if he's a top 10,
high?
Yeah, if he's a top 10 pick, he's probably not coming back.
He's going to go then. Yeah, never mind.
If I'm first round, I'm not coming back. Period. Anywhere in the first round.
You almost have to go.
I mean, that's some money that you can't. You just never know. You might get injured again. You know. At least y'all won't have to play Auburn next year. If it does come back, you don't have to worry about hearing Auburn cry and shit. Y'all stuck with Texas, though.
Dude, they're gonna cry.
Sorry for y'all. I know you feel sorry for me with Auburn, but starting to think Texas is worse than Auburn.
They are. But Auburn's bad though. And Auburn's gonna cry about this forever. They're never gonna stop talking about this, man. Anytime an Auburn fan is drawn with a Sooner fan, at some point the Auburn fan is gonna bring up, y'all cheated, y'all tricked us, y'all tricked us.
Y'all didn't tell us to go out there and cover that receiver. You know, and another thing is the defense and the offense both have a player that have a headset in their helmet. Usually it's the quarterback, always quarterback on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, I don't know what position usually does that, maybe linebacker or something. But there's one player on the defense that has a headset in his thing. Why didn't they just call in the headset and say, hey, y'all go put somebody on that guy out there. It's wide open.
Well,
they ain't got 10 people.
Multiple coaches on the sideline did notice it. That's why they were trying to break their necks to get the referee's attention to call a timeout, and they just didn't get it. So they saw it. They eventually saw it, and they realized they were being. Again, man, it's just a weak look. They look like ninnies. They just look like babies, man.
Robert Bacon says he don't think that you will win a game without SEC game without material.
I disagree with that.
It is a pretty tough slate the rest of the way. I will give you that. But South Carolina hadn't looked too good. South Carolina, I think it was you that said that South Carolina was overrated, Killer Breeze.
That's right.
Did you say South Carolina was overrated before the year? That's
right.
And I know Lenore's got injured in one game, but I think he was in that Missouri game, wasn't he? Or was he back?
I think he was in that game.
Another team, Missouri, is another team that's starting to make themselves recognizable by the way they just act in general.
Well, they're just funny because they're just like
so spastic about shit.
Yeah, they're just little stupid kids who don't even know what they don't know. I mean, it's just cute to me that they even think that they have a football program now.
The only right-wing Duck fan wants to know our prediction on the Penn State versus Oregon game. Both teams are undefeated, by the way.
I love Oregon in this game. I think this is where Penn State gets, just like they always do, Penn State gets exposed for being good, not great.
Penn State ain't got a real hard schedule this year either, so they're going to get beat. Hopefully it'll be by Oregon. I don't like Penn State, man. I can understand having.
You think they're going to win the game? You think they might win that game?
It's in Penn State, right? They're having one of those whiteouts.
It's at. I didn't realize that.
If it's at Penn State, that's a hard call for me. I want Oregon to win because I don't like James Franklin, and I don't like Penn State. Because it's one thing to have traditional helmets, it's another thing to take that shit to another level and just blah. Who the hell wears just a white helmet, blue stripe, man? That's crazy, man. At least put some numbers on it like Alabama does. And the Sandusky shit, I still ain't forgiving them for that. And their fans act stupid about it. And they're like, Joe Paterno's statue should be put back up. No, he knew about that shit. Joe Paterno's statue better not ever go back up.
He did know about it, man. He did know about it, and that's pretty bad.
All he worried about was his legacy at Penn State. He didn't give a shit about those kids getting raped in the showers down there.
That is factual. That is the truth.
How well has Oregon been doing this year? They've been blowing people out. I know they beat Oregon State pretty good last week.
They beat Oregon State. They blew fucking Oklahoma State out by 70 points, I think, or 60 points.
That should have been a big red flag right there. Everybody should have seen that shit coming with Tulsa, man. Like here's your man. They've been firing the hell out of some people in the damn middle of the year, man. They don't wait till the end of the year. Back in my day, growing up, they always waited to the end of the year to fire a coach, even if they sucked, just awful, bad suck. They would still keep them to the end of the year. It was like an etiquette thing. Now it's like, shit, they'll fire you after week 1, man.
Yeah, they're not playing around.
We was trying to fire DeBoer after week 1.
Oh, yeah, y'all were. Although, I mean, man, to be fair, Mike Gundy almost seemed like he was trying to get fired. I mean, he didn't look like he cared at all, dude. He never looked like he was worried about it.
The shit's just done got stale and old, and sometimes that happens.
Well, that's Bill Parcells is famous for saying that you lose a locker room after 10 years, that you just cannot deliver the message the same way. They just don't receive the message the way that they used to. And it's just hard to maintain it for longer. And that was his magic number, was 10 years. And I swear to you, if you go look, it does seem like, no real good run lasts a whole lot longer than 10 years if it does get to 10 years.
Yeah, Marine Center sort of expounds on what I was saying. He says, "You bring it to me, I'm a man," is gone. How many coaches get fired before the middle of the season now? Yeah. It's crazy. People, you can't fire them in the middle of the season. Yeah, you can. They've been doing it for a while now. Les Miles was one of them. I remember his ass getting fired in the middle of the year. And they thought they had Jimbo Fisher, and they didn't.
Yep.
And they ended up getting stuck with Ed Orgeron, but they did win a national title. That's the thing about LSU, man. They win national titles with coaches that really ain't that great. If they ever got a great, great coach there, they would be like a dynasty probably.
Well, they've always had, especially when they focus on, man, for whatever reason, even though Louisiana is a small state in terms of the size of it, it produces a lot of great athletes, man. A lot of professional athletes in football and basketball. I don't know where we really rank in the baseball, not basketball. I don't know where we really rank in the basketball, but a lot of players from Louisiana end up in the NFL and the MLB.
That comment's for you. I think he was saying Cotton Bowl right there. You want to read that out?
Yeah. No, well, that's what he's saying. He says, Killer, you were right. There's game time, then there is the Cotton Bowl, and that's more than game time. And he's right. The atmosphere at the Cotton Bowl is unlike any other. And that, that's also a reason that I just feel terrible for John Mateer as well, because he came to Oklahoma. One of the reasons why he wanted to leave Washington State was he wanted that big-time college experience. And if you're going to come to Oklahoma, there's no doubt about it. The biggest game you can play, except for a national championship, is the Texas game at the Cotton Bowl. And if you've never been, let me tell you, I've been a couple of times. It is, man.
I want to go to that Texas State Fair that y'all been bragging about. I made a mistake of making fun of it a few weeks back.
Well, first of all, the food.
I got grilled unmercifully. Everybody was getting on my ass.
The food, man, is unbelievable, dude. The food is unbelievable. But that's what I'm saying. If you've never been to the Red River Shootout, it's unlike any. And so as a player, I just feel terrible for Mateer because, yeah, he'll at least be able to experience the tunnel and he'll be able to get some of the experience of at least what it's like down on the field. But he won't get to experience getting on the field and actually playing and winning the game. And that sucks because I didn't realize he was projecting that high as an NFL quarterback. I figured with his non-traditional throwing motion alone would have him drop lower in the rounds. But if
He
he's a
got a
first,
non-traditional.
yeah, he throws sidearm. I mean, listen, that's what I'm like. I love him just because we haven't had anything nearly as good as him in a long time. But I mean, man,
Maybe it's why they compare him to Tim Tebow.
in the first 4 games, he's a lot different than Tebow to me. I think he's like Brett Favre, dude. In later in Brett Favre's professional career, like he's.
It wasn't me. I mean, the announcers were comparing him to Tebow, and I'm like, he's not as big as Tebow. I don't see the Tebow comparison, but they bring it up all the time.
I think he's just an athlete. He's not a true quarterback. He throws sidearm a lot, and again, in just the first 4 games, he's had a ton of balls batted down because of his throwing motion and where he releases the ball. He doesn't have a lot of air under his balls a lot of times, especially the short range. And so he gets batted down a lot. And I would have figured that alone would have meant he would drop down into at least the middle rounds of the draft, if not the late rounds of the NFL draft. But he is a gamer, there's no doubt about it. He does just kind of have that winning, we haven't seen otherwise yet, at least. And that's once again another bummer why we might not see him against Texas. Texas does have a really good defense, and it just sucks that we won't see John Mateer playing in that game.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that he only had 1 year here. I didn't know he was like a junior. He's a junior.
He's got another year of eligibility left. I don't know if he's actually a junior he must be. He's got to be. Or a redshirt junior. I don't know.
Dennison said, let's just make sure we run that play again. Yeah, I could, but I guarantee you they're going to be looking for it now. And if they see you do it, they're probably going to call it just to do a makeup. Be your lucky be against Texas and cost you a touchdown or something.
I think the fact that it's been proven that they cleared it with the referees ahead of time, I think the SEC should retract that damn statement and say they didn't do anything wrong. They cleared it with our stupid effing referees, so blame them.
That's Auburn's spastic ass boosters, man. They calling the damn SEC offices and saying, you need to do something. You need to make a statement because we got our feelings hurt. So you done made me cuss. Now I'm going to get in trouble. Damn Auburn, man. Maybe drop one of the rated X expellatives.
Both of them and Texas.
Steve Lee says the Gumby and Pokey show is gone and Stillwater, the Bedlam series, could be coming back.
That's what I heard. But I don't know. By the way, who were Alabama's 3 permanent opponents?
Well, they softened us up a little bit more. We had just a loaded gun there at first. It was LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn. That's pretty hard. But they dropped LSU and they added Mississippi State. So we just got Auburn and Tennessee and Mississippi State.
Damn, they have Bama, Tennessee over Bama, LSU. That seems kind of wrong to me. Is that a bigger game for Bama fans, the Tennessee game, the LSU game?
Historically, yeah. Tennessee and Alabama has been more of a historical rival.
Okay.
And I never understood why they dropped Mississippi State off the schedule. I'm not trying to get an easy game, but they said they were going by geographical proximity and length of rivalries, and we've played Mississippi State more than any other team in the SEC.
Oh,
because
wow.
we went 40 years without playing Auburn. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They had some kind of dispute from the 1910s to the 1950s where they didn't want to play each other. And then the SEC and the state legislature made them play each other. So they had to start playing each other.
That's awesome.
And that's how much they hate us. But anyway, they probably would have liked for us not to be one of their permanents. But
awesome.
Mississippi State is only 60 miles from Tuscaloosa. It's an hour and a half. So that game's actually really beneficial to Mississippi State. Them losing that game Well, it probably hurt the economy a little bit for them. That's a big economic boom for Starkville.
Yeah.
Alabama comes to town. So
Well, I was surprised of course they gave Oklahoma, Texas, and then the goddamn Missouri. I swear it just makes me so annoyed that we have to play Missouri.
we might actually be able to see Alabama and LSU play for the SEC title now.
Yeah.
Because, in the past, Alabama and LSU would take each other out, and then they would play some bum-ass school from the East before Georgia got good. It was usually Missouri's punk ass. They went twice and got blowed out by Alabama and Auburn. Mid-poo.
Well, they gave Oklahoma Ole Miss as our third permanent, which surprised me. Really surprised me.
They're trying not to make it too hard on y'all, but Ole Miss seems to have picked it up a little bit.
And give us Arkansas, man, if you're not trying to make it hard. They're closer. Give us Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas might. I think Arkansas. What do they have? Texas A&M, and LSU.
Yeah, some bullshit. I mean, I'm bummed out, dude. Why give us? I don't want Missouri, man. I hate.
Oh, they give you Missouri and Ole Miss.
Yes.
Golly, man, what the hell?
That's what I'm saying, dude. It sucks, man. I wanted us to get like a Florida or an LSU or.
Yeah, if you're gonna mix it up a little bit, at least.
Honestly, I would have been good with Bama. I would have been good with Oklahoma, Bama every year. I mean,
yeah, we could play y'all for homecoming every year. Then.
Fuck off, man.
Well, every other year, y'all could schedule us for your homecoming. It could be called the Crimson Homecoming Series. What I thought, the Captain Obvious to me, for Oklahoma would be Texas A&M, and maybe LSU or something. That's what I would think.
Well, I would have been fine. I let me tell you this.
Or Missouri, only because y'all play Missouri so much. Texas A&M, and Missouri would have made sense.
But the thing is, here's the thing. In the Big 12, we always play Missouri from the Big 8. But in the Big 12, obviously, we started playing A&M every year. And I would much rather have had A&M, even though A&M probably – we lose to A&M probably more over the years than we do Missouri, even though it's probably not a whole lot different. But we do. It just seems like A&M is better than Missouri overall. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know, dude. I just don't think Missouri. I hate the game. You have nothing to win from beating Missouri because you're supposed to beat Missouri. And if you lose, it's one of those awful feelings that you get, and you're just sick to your stomach for a long time.
Daniel Loon says he can't make a super chat. That's because they demonetized my channel. The only way to donate to this channel is to my Cash App, money $, JPC316. It comes across the scroll down here. And I also have Venmo, which is also JPC316. If you want to make a donation like that, a lot of people have. And I'll give you a shout out on the channel. I'm going to think of something to reward people for Cash Apps, because Cash Apps are actually paying me better than that $2.99 shit anyway. They didn't really punish me, to be honest. Because, usually people get $10 or $20, man, and sometimes $5, and that's still more.
That's good. See, Denizen agrees. Denizen said he lives in Tulsa, and Arkansas would have been ideal. In fact, Fayetteville is closer to me than Norman. See? Denizen gets it.
I Am Sooner says the salty tears coming from Auburn is almost worth the whining. Almost. Y'all hit the like button.
It's awful, man. I mean, they're so serious about it. Like, too, that's the funny thing. They just feel like this is just such a violation. Like, dude, you got beat on a trick play. Cry me a river, man. Cry me a river.
The thing is, Hugh Freeze is his offense is built on trickery. Him and Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn's his little protege, and they're the ones that do that shit all the time.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I know this from personal experience. I'd much rather, as a fan, see my team get fooled by that trick play we played on Auburn than getting fooled by the damn Statue of Liberty or the hook and ladder by Boise State in the effing Fiesta Bowl. I can promise you that. You'd much rather get fooled on the guy pretending like he's subbing out than have to want to vomit as you watch the Statue of Liberty play, some shit you haven't seen since you were in fucking third grade, and they score and win the game. I mean, Jesus Christ.
So this is the comment you was talking about with Denizen. I live in Tulsa, and Arkansas would have been ideal. Yeah, a lot of the Oklahoma fans in Tulsa would probably really love to have Arkansas. And you would think, because Arkansas is a border state, that it would have been in consideration. But I guess everybody could say the same thing about Alabama and Georgia. They don't want Georgia and Alabama playing each other in the regular season. They like to save that game for a possible SEC matchup. I think that's what that is.
Yeah, probably. Marine Sooner says the former Penn State players and coaches call for the return of Joe Paterno's statue and the players that were behind him. Whatever.
Them players didn't get molested. Their children didn't get molested. That's the only reason they don't care, man. A lot of them athletes are like that, man.
That's true.
Texas Thunder OU Sooner says Texas A&M probably would complain to the SEC commissioner not to play Oklahoma because they're scared of Oklahoma. Well, A&M didn't want to play Texas. You know they won't play Oklahoma. They definitely don't want to play a team that's been beating Texas on the regular. You would think. Well, you might be right about that, Thunder OU Center. A&M might have complained if they got stuck with Oklahoma and Texas. Maybe. I wouldn't want to have to play Oklahoma and Texas every freaking year either.
That could be true.
Although Tennessee and Auburn can sometimes be a boogaboo, having to play them two every year, man. Tennessee fans are pretty bad too.
They are bad.
Especially if we go to a game in Knoxville, man, they're awful. They'll throw golf balls at you like they did Blaine Kiffin and mustard bottles and all sorts of shit.
They're just nuts.
They're stupid, man. They remind me of soccer fans in Ecuador or some shit. Tearing shit up, man, just to tear shit up and beat our own stadium, man. Be like
third world country.
Be like the damn LA riots when Rodney King got his ass beat. They just go around tearing up their own shit.
Are they just going to burn Knoxville down if they ever win anything, really?
Y'all don't get me in trouble for political shit again. Now they're going to shut me down completely. We do play Arkansas twice, once in 2027 and 29. Why would they separate the years? I thought they had done the years back to back.
Yeah, what's that about?
In the SEC play, I thought you played back to back. I didn't think you had a separator year.
Yeah, why wouldn't they play in 2028, John?
Yeah, I would think it would be 2027, 2028. Maybe you typoed that. Marine Sooner says the Bedlam game is one of the bigger money games. If the SEC adds maybe 4 more teams, bring in Choke State or trade Vanderbilt and OSU. Well, Vanderbilt's pretty good right now. They're undefeated.
Dude, Vanderbilt, you can make an argument that Vanderbilt is one of the top 3 most complete teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
Maybe number 1.
Yeah, we got to play them right after Georgia again.
I mean, dude, they got a legit running game. Pavia can clearly throw the ball. Now, he always does 1 or 2 really dumbass things every time I see him play. He's kind of risky, but and they got a pretty decent defense, you know? So I mean, who's to say, man? Like, you might be really looking at the change of college football to where, especially now with the money in it and the parity of it all, maybe Vanderbilt, this is the Vanderbilt that we're going to see more often than not.
I'm sure Vanderbilt has a lot of probably wealthy alumni, and if they would start winning, they would probably get behind them. Plus, you have a pretty big city in Nashville that if you got them behind you, you could see a budding power. You know, I mean, Nashville is a pretty big city, and I love Nashville, by the way. I love going to Nashville. Good food too, man. Good food, good bars, good women, everything.
Oh, I love Nashville. I've been to Nashville a few times. I used to do business in Nashville.
I bet you
Good
did do
stuff.
some business up there.
I did.
Steve Lee's was down there on Gay Street. He's doing business on Gay Street down there.
Those were back when I wasn't quite the model citizen that I am today.
You're a model citizen now? I didn't know that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But Oklahoma State, the way they've been playing here lately, and the fact that we already got one team in Oklahoma and it's not a real big state, they probably won't consider Oklahoma State for expansion because they don't have a huge fan base like Oklahoma does. At least I don't think they do. You probably know more about that than me.
I mean, they got a decent fan base. It's just not anywhere close to Oklahoma. You know? I mean, they've historically been a pretty crappy program. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the SEC.
They've had some good years here and there, and some good players, some legit players here and there. I mean, they did have a consecutive run with Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders, two of the best running backs the NFL's ever seen. So they've had legit runs, short, brief runs a couple of times in their history, but overall they just suck. And they got ugly uniforms and the logos.
It is pretty shitty, man. They got black and orange.
It's like a bad Halloween outfit.
I know, right? It's like exactly like a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns out there.
You know what I mean? It's terrible.
If the SEC expands to 4 more teams, and a lot of people think that's where they're going to go, then the Big Ten's going to go to 20. They need to add 2. The SEC adds 4. They'll probably go after a lot of ACC teams, in my opinion. And if they do come over west, more than likely, if I was at SEC, I'd go after Kansas for the basketball program to get another blue blood basketball. Because we got enough football programs. You keep adding powerhouse football programs, somebody's got to lose, and somebody's not going to be a powerhouse program anymore because they're going to be losing. Just ask Arkansas. So Arkansas used to be pretty damn good in the Southwest Conference.
Absolutely, they won. Yeah, absolutely, they were good. They were as good as Texas or A&M.
I mean, they used to beat Texas all the time.
They were in the 60s. They were really good.
Yeah, I remember in the 80s. I remember one game where they beat them 42-11. Beat Texas. They just beat the shit out of them. Man.
Yeah, dude. They were. Yeah, they just haven't fared well in the SEC. Just like A&M.
Yeah.
A&M's been relegated to a bottom feeder. They've always kind of been a bottom feeder, to be honest with you. They're just like Oklahoma State. They've had a couple of decent years, and that's about it.
Now, the way Texas Tech is throwing money around, they might be able to buy their way into the SEC.
Dude, you gotta. There's no reason why they can't. They're a huge school. They're in the state of Texas. You could make an argument they're closer to Big Oil than UT or
yeah. And they got a good distance between them. And they got a good distance between them and Texas too, and Texas A&M. They're not really close to each other. It's sort of like they're in another state because Lubbock's on the other side of the state.
Dude, where they are, that's totally different, completely different than Houston or Austin, which is where basically College Station.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Texas is. You say they're in the same state, not really. I mean, because Texas is like 3 states. Maybe even 4.
No, I was just about to say it's probably more like 4.
Yeah,
because and actually it might even be more like 5 because you got the pine curtain of East Texas, where it's just pine trees and Baptists for as far as you can see. So that's one geographic, like one area. Then you got the valley and like, you know, San Antonio, McAllen, like, you know. Then you got West Texas, which is also kind of a little bit like, you know, like Lubbock gets to. And then you got the Panhandle, which is totally different too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's two different worlds, that's for sure.
Well, I got curious one night because I know Alaska's as big as a country, but Texas is bigger than any country in France, any country in Europe. In the continent of Europe, I compared them to every country over in Europe, and Texas is bigger than France. It's bigger than Spain. It's bigger than Germany.
Hey, you want to hear something even crazier? Just to give you an idea how big Alaska is, I think, unless I'm wrong, you can fit 3 states of Texas inside the state of Alaska.
Now, Alaska's near as big as the United States mainland. It's pretty damn big.
It's huge, dude. It's massive. But you don't realize it. You don't think about it. And then when you look at it on a map, you're like, oh shit, yeah, that's fucking huge.
That's right. So,
yeah, man. It looks like we got a little, where's the, but I honestly don't know. I honestly do not know.
I've never been to Lubbock. I've never been to Amarillo.
I've driven through. I've never stopped.
Wouldn't mind doing a game there to see them throw those tortilla shells on the field, whatever it is they do at Texas Tech.
By the way, I forgot there's another region of Texas that's unlike any other. That's the Communist Republic of Austin.
Who's that? Oh, yeah. Brendan A&F says, "What's up, Outlaws? Been a minute. We've been on bad luck for a minute. Boomer Sooner. Let's go Hawkins." Yeah, it looks like y'all just came by a break, man. Brent Venables comes in and Lincoln Riley's poaching players, and then he gets over that, and now you got just a plethora of injuries last year that destroyed the season last year. Now this year,
well, Levy leaves after year 2. Levy leaves early. Did you know damn good and well the plan was not for Levy to leave before the year they go into the SEC.
And look at Levy, man. He's undefeated. He's got Tennessee in Starksville this week. That'd be great if Mississippi State could beat Tennessee.
I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I haven't seen Mississippi State play that at all this year yet.
I don't believe it's going to happen either, but I would like for it to happen.
I've been really surprised. To me, this is Josh Heupel's best coaching year ever so far. I mean, I know they lost to Georgia. They should have won that game. They missed an easy field goal. They missed a field goal. Yeah, I know. But I don't know exactly how good Georgia really is, so I'm not sure what that game really means yet. But it looked like, what I'm impressed with is that quarterback they got. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. Oh God, what is the quarterback's name at Tennessee? Damn it! Help me out.
Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, Aguilar. That kid, he might be the best pure passer in the SEC that I've seen so far. He's thrown some.
What's funny is they got him from UCLA.
I know that. And Nico, I think, is about to be back in the transfer portal now that they fired his coach. I think Nico's about to jump in the transfer portal, which is even funnier. But yeah, I mean, man, I've been impressed. I've seen the games that I've seen him playing in. I watched a good bit of that Georgia game. He was throwing a pretty ball, man, and throwing it downfield too with some accuracy, more than once. So I've been pretty impressed with him. And if Josh Heupel can somehow run the table, and play in the SEC championship and win it somehow, it'll be his best coaching job ever so far.
I agree. All right, brother. Looks like you're getting close to 10 o'clock. I guess I'm
all right, man. I appreciate it. Had fun. Chat. It was good hanging with y'all. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, man. We'll check you later. That was Killer Breeze, the Oklahoma Roughneck. And as I told everybody before, we can't do super chats and we can't do the badges right now because my channel's been demonetized by YouTube because I was posting Charlie Kirk videos. I was reposting Charlie Kirk videos onto my short section for a friend of mine to push his, TikTok out. But what it was is I've been posting and I've been resharing those videos for months and months and almost a year. The reason why they've done it, I know, is because I was reposting Charlie Kirk stuff on my short section. So now, if you want to donate to my channel, you have to go to my Cash App, which is money $sign JPC316, or on Venmo, JPC316. And with that, I'm out of here. KMCA to all the other teams except Alabama and Oklahoma. Class is now dismissed.